Arjuna uvacha दृष्ट्वेमं स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितं सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति.
Chapter 1, Shloka 28. Arjuna said, "Seeing my very own people, O Krishna, all of them arrayed for battle. My limbs are collapsing and my mouth is parched." Family relationships, blood relationships, social ties, ties of the heart, one's own worshipped teacher, one's own companions, the little children. These are very, very dear to the social man. And here, in this battle, the ones who are most dear to his heart, it is they who are standing in front of him. And as he sees them standing in front of him, he realizes, oh my God, what is just about to happen? It is in that moment he experiences a deep value conflict. He values family. He values his near and dear ones. But they have chosen to be on the side of selfishness and adharma. And if that side comes into power and rules, it would be the demise of the entire nation. And thus he must fight. It is not an ordinary battle. It is not something that he must do because he does not like them. He loves them dearly from the bottom of his heart. And the other side is on the side of adharma. And so he must fight for truth as a Kshatriya who does not fear, who stands up for what is noble, true and highest. And even as he was one of the finest, most capable warrior, the human soul of action, Arjuna, even as he could be a warrior all his life, at this moment he meets himself in a peculiar conflict where it is his own family members, not just his own clan, his members of his own race or nation, but the members of his own family that are on the other side. And he is met with the highest and most violent crisis between the problem of human life, which has all kinds of dualities between the good and bad, between birth and death, and the spiritual ideal or even the purely ethical ideal. So it's not an ordinary crisis. He aspires to live by the Dharma. He aspires to live by the highest, most noblest truth. He aspires for wisdom, love, and beauty. But he's caught in the Kurukshetra, the battle of life. And he's confronted with a battle where he must face his own near and dear ones. And just like any pragmatic, social, sensorial man, this reality only hits him hard when he sees his relatives arrayed for battle. Until that point in time, it doesn't dawn onto him. And that's when he starts questioning the futility of war. If it was not his own family members, his own clan, then would he have doubted the futility of war? he was not doubting the futility of war because he was on the side of adharma. He was not doubting the futility of war in itself. He was doubting the futility of war because he felt weak when confronted with his blood and heart ties. Now, of course, in the new creation, in the world of the future, war has to be completely abolished. But before the war is completely abolished between nations, humanity has to undergo a deep and profound evolution and transformation of consciousness. If that does not happen, war will forever be. And then, if anything has reached to the point of the war, it's about asking oneself, am I on the side of dharma or am I on the side of adharma? And war need not always be a physical, violent war. A war can be a psychological war. To give a simple example that as a seeker you may be able to relate to, each time when a seeker awakens and wants to serve and give one's life to a higher purpose and call, it could be service to a nation, it could be service to environment, it could be service to humanity, it could be service to the divine. Often the seeker does not fit into the social norm, the family expectations. And then the same family relatives for whom you were once dear, you come face to face with them. At that time, out of the fear of a social backlash, do you succumb and go back to the status quo, or stand upright, grounded in the dharma, and walk the path that needs to be walked? If each and every one only thought about I, me, myself, or I, me, my family, then there would be no one at the borders of the nation willing to sacrifice and give one's life. One has to rise above one's individual and collective ego to be even able to perceive what is the dharma. So as a seeker, when you feel called to contributing to something higher, deeper, nobler, oftentimes you will come face to face with your own blood ties and relatives. And that is the war of the seeker. That is the Kurukshetra of the seeker begins. And I do not say that you have to get into a war with your relatives and your family, but you must learn to be grounded and rooted into the dharma, to stand for it, no matter what, with your faith stable and erect. And by all means try to resolve the conflict with harmony and peace. Just like the war of the Mahabharata was not born overnight. For years altogether, harmony and peace in a harmonious way was attempted. War was the last case scenario. And that is the most difficult war as a seeker. When two of your own values come in conflict. Yes, I value family. Yes, I want to live for a higher purpose. That is a very living, breathing value conflict, which is why what Arjuna represents is really the human seeker, the human soul of action. And even as, he could come alive in his full potential and capacities in other scenarios, his mouth is parched, his limbs are collapsing when confronted with his own family. Now, to stand into Dharma in light of one's own very sentimental bonds and attachments is one of the most difficult conflicts that one faces. And in the middle of that, to listen to the voice of Krishna, to listen to the voice of the soul, and to stand firm and grounded into one's dharma, you will notice by itself the way begins to get created. The war looks like as if it's a war on the outside, but actually the real war is on the inside. And which is why in Arjuna's journey as well, first he has to fight the inner battle. And that is what the entire discourse of the Bhagavad Gita is about. The inner battle that he fights and wins in order to do just the thing that needs to be done without attachments, without anger, without likes and dislikes, without desire. Just the thing that needs to be done for the welfare and goodwill of the whole. That is the inner battle that we as seekers need to fight. It is actually not so much as a seeker when you come face to face with your own family members, with your own relatives who perhaps want you to get married and do a normal job that gets you money. It is not a battle with them. It is actually first and foremost an inner battle. Share with us in the comments below, what is the inner battle that you are struggling with as a seeker? And we shall meet next week to dive deeper into the next shloka to see how does Arjuna resolve the inner battle, fight the inner battle, and what guidance does Krishna have to offer. Look forward to reading your comments below. I hope you found the video to be useful. If you would like to continue your journey with us, if you would like to help us support you in your journey, click on the link below and join us for a 2.5-hour signature masterclass called the Awakening Karma Yogi Workshop, where we run you through the fundamental stages of awakening to become a Karma Yogi, to be peaceful inside and successful outside. We talk about Swabhava, our true nature, and Swadharma, our soul's purpose, which are the building blocks of a life-affirming, not a life-negating spirituality. So if you found this video to be useful, click on the link below and I shall see you at the workshop.